What's going on, junk removal journeymen and women? My name is Sam, and in today's video, I'm going to show you guys, or at least explain to you, what I do to get leads when everything is really slow in my business. So a week or two ago, I had not been doing anything with my advertising, and so basically my leads and the jobs that I was doing every week was kind of dry like the Sahara Desert. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to take this time that I don't have work and focus really hard on several different free tactics to get customers. So the first thing that I have covered that's kind of unique to my channel is how I message people on Facebook. So this is a lot different than what other people will do that tell you how to get free junk removal leads. A lot of people will tell you, hey, do door hangers, hey, do yard signs. That kind of stuff is kind of old news in my opinion. Everybody knows that you can do that in a service business. What I've done though is I find people on Facebook that are getting rid of stuff for free, or they have something listed really cheap. Sometimes I'll see something like an upright piano for like $400 or $500, and I'll just shoot a shot at them to be like, hey, listen, if you can't get rid of this, which let's be honest, they probably can't get rid of it. In that case, they'll give me a call if they need someone to come haul it away. A lot of the time, the prices that you're getting for those jobs are not necessarily going to be the greatest, but it's so easy to go into your notes, have a script that basically says, hey, listen, my name is Sam. I own a company called Bold Faith Junk Removal. We're a small family-owned business that's super efficient and that offers great prices for hauling stuff away. So if you find that you can't get rid of those items, don't hesitate to reach out and give us a call or shoot us a text. That works a lot more often than a lot of people would think, actually. Another interesting technique that I've learned recently is kind of a piggyback of just word of mouth and kind of going out there doing jobs, doing a really good job. There are certain thrift stores, particularly in wealthier areas. If you come in well dressed, your vehicle looks nice, you look professional. A lot of the time, those thrift stores will get older folks, particularly in the nicer areas, that are looking for someone to remove all of their old stuff or donate all of their old stuff for them. And they're willing to pay a pretty decent amount of money for you to come do that. Now, this isn't going to work if you roll in looking like you just got out of bed and you look kind of like a rougher character. But if you give them a stack of business cards and tell them, hey, if anybody needs anything heavy delivered, anything removed from their home, anything donated, you would be surprised at how many calls you get from that. I actually gave my info to a new thrift store the other day in a wealthier area, and I've already gotten at least 3 calls from different customers, and I've converted one to where it's a $250 to $300 job. And that's just because I ended up being parked in front of this thrift store for a while, and the worker in there was like, where have you been all my life? So give your info to thrift stores, because a lot of the time they have little odds and ends kind of jobs, and sometimes occasionally they'll have real junk removal jobs that are lucrative as well. Another fantastic way of getting jobs, and this is actually probably my favorite way to get jobs right now, is the Nextdoor app. If you're not using Nextdoor, and if you're not getting on there to introduce yourself, give kind of a brief background of how you started, or hey, here's a picture of me and my wife and my kids. If you're not getting on there saying, listen, this is what we do. We remove junk, we remove furniture. If you have clutter in your house or in your garage, give us a call, shoot us a text. It's a no obligation estimate. We can let you know how much it's going to cost, kind of a ballpark range over the phone or via text. That gets me a lot of my business, and so much of my business is from that right now. I actually, like I said last week when I didn't have any business, part of what I was focusing so much on was the Nextdoor app and making sure that my posts looked good for that. I actually have my wife, she has a Nextdoor account here where we live currently, but I also kept my Nextdoor account from when I lived in another place, which is pretty close to here as well. So we get extra coverage. The Nextdoor app is fantastic for that, and for getting a lot of really local jobs which have very little overhead costs because they're so close by and don't require a whole lot of driving. A lot of networking groups on Facebook are filled with people looking for the best plumber in the area, the best electrician. I need to clean out this house within the next week. What do I do? And a lot of the time, if you're replying to those posts, you're going to be competing with like 20 or 30 different people, and it's going to be a race to the bottom of who can do it for the cheapest and who can do it the fastest. I don't even really bother with those because it would just require me to be on Facebook constantly. But I make my own posts, and you can only usually do it probably about once a week, maybe even less. You don't want to outstay your welcome. You don't want to get kicked out of these groups. You don't want to develop a reputation as the guy that just spams everybody. But I have also gotten a lot of jobs from doing these Facebook groups, and I really haven't dove into that as deeply as I need to either. And then finally, the last thing that I would say, if you're really wanting business and you want to get it for free, you want to get those leads for free, is do a bunch of different stuff on social media, whether that be Instagram, whether that be Facebook, even on this YouTube channel. I've had people that have reached out to me that have wanted me to do jobs for them because I have put myself out there and because I seem, at least to you guys, like a reputable person that that owns a good God-fearing business. If you put yourself out there and you get involved with different things, whether it be B&I groups, whether it be going to a local farmer's market, setting up a booth, having your banner there, doing a raffle, handing out your business cards, and having some kind of contest, like most any publicity is good publicity, save for a few things that I can think of. But if you get yourself out there, if you do business well, that's one of the biggest things, is word of mouth keeps a junk removal company going, any service business going, but really junk removal, because there's not a ton of repeat business. You are going to get some really good customers that will hire you a dozen times in a year, but that's very, very rare. And you've constantly got to be drumming up interest. So if any of these techniques help you, or if there are any techniques that you want to share for somebody down below in the comments, please leave a comment. It helps these videos to get out to more people anyway, the more engagement that I have with this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for following along on my junk removal journey. I do a lot of vlog content showing how I make money and what kind of jobs I'm doing. So let me know if these kind of how-to video formats work as well, and if you want me to keep making them. So thank you guys so much for watching.